Hey guys, we got back from Book Expo and it was another crazy adventure. Maybe even crazier than all the other years put together, but man, was 2018 Book Expo memorable. We'll just get to the story like right off the top. We're in New York for like 2 hours before this happens, and we're like getting on the subway for like the second time. Things are gonna be fine. We're going to the Brooklyn Museum to see the David Bowie Is exhibit, and we're about to get on this train when the train stopped, and this guy, like steps out of the way and is like, "Go ahead." And I'm like, "Thank you."
So we get on the train, and we sit down on the train, and the guy who stopped, go ahead, sits across from us, and there's a woman sitting beside him. And so we're sitting on this train, and I'm super excited about the David Bowie Is exhibit because I have not shut up about it for like 6 months. And I'm going through okay, this is how many stops we gotta take, this is, then we get off here and we walk here, and I'm super excited, and I have no idea what's going through Chelsea's brain because we're just both sitting there with our Starbucks in New York City. And then I happen to glance across at the guy, and I see his hand on his crotch, and I'm like, oh. And I guess innate sense of trying to see the best in people, I'm just assuming, well, maybe he's just readjusting. Just maybe.
Yeah, that was my thought too.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, that's probably what he's doing.
It happens. It's awkward, but it happens. The woman sitting beside him kind of looks over at him and just kind of says something and gives him a dirty look, and he looks and says something, and it's I assume it's I'm sorry. Fine.
She gets up and moves.
She doesn't get up and move just yet.
No.
So we're sitting on this train, and we're both watching this guy. I'm watching him out of my peripherals.
I'm looking at my phone and watching him out of my peripherals.
The lights on the train go out. Now they go out for 3 seconds.
They're flickering.
But in this 3 seconds, the man has his hand on his crotch and he is just going hard.
And you're just like, oh.
And it's just oh, so yeah, this is happening. And so the lights come back on, and he's stops and he slows down. The woman kind of says something, gets up and moves. And so this is when I'm okay, this is happening. We're clearly on a section of track that goes on for a long time. When the train stops, we're getting up and we're moving, and I'm just assuming Chelsea's on the same page as me because I don't want to draw attention to the fact that I see what's happening across from us. So the light flickers again, and he goes hard again, and I'm just oh my god, this is how don't want to say anything, don't want to do anything. We're just gonna get out of there. And the train starts rolling into the station, and the man stands up. He takes a step forward.
And he drops his pants. And you're just like, dude.
Someone in the back of the train somewhere, this will be forever, just, what the fuck, man?
In the background. And people on this, various parts of the train are ah!
But this, where we are standing to where the camera is, there is a man with just
pants right off, no underwear. He clearly came prepared. This is his Wednesday afternoon.
Just flaccid, just close your eyes and you can still see it.
Yeah. Both shriek.
My first instinct though is to stand up and kick him. And I said this to Chelsea after, my first instinct is to stand up and kick him and Nazgul shriek at him. Throw your shoulders back and just yeah. But then pretty much right after that thought hits me, this is all going on in seconds, not even seconds, it's the flight instinct kicks in.
And we're both off that train.
Get onto the next cart, we fall into the seat, we're laughing hysterically because we just can't comprehend the fact that we were just assaulted on the subway.
Okay, we have been riding the train since we were 15, 14, something like that, and this train in Toronto, we're 27 going on 28, nothing like this has ever happened to us in Toronto. Nothing even close to that. There have been some creepy guys, there have been some weirdos, but nothing like this.
And so we're sitting on this train, we're laughing hysterically, we're trying to process this, and we see 2 or 3 security guards like run down the platform. The guy got away. It wasn't like every time we used the subway after that we felt unsafe, but it was just like...
Your distrust of people went like...
Yeah, like the first year we went to BookCon, there was a guy who followed us for like 20 feet in the one subway, like whispering, "Here, piggy, piggy, piggy." And that was like creepy, but like...
That's a new level.
This is a new level. This like...
Great. Anyways, so we went to New York for the books.
Book Expo. What was the best part of Book Expo?
I mean, Book Expo felt smaller this year.
Yes.
Book Expo, I don't know, it's been shrinking every year.
It felt smaller this year, but it also felt like compared to last year there were more people.
Yeah. Anyways, so like I hope it's still around in like the next few years, because like I really enjoy going to it. It's really beneficial, but like why does it keep getting smaller? Yeah. But I mean, we were on our game this year, and there was a whole bunch, like we had a list of books that we wanted. We got like almost everyone that was like, we need this book. I mean, we got Boneless Mercies, we got Wild Card by Mary Lou, we got Small Spaces, which is like, I know I'm getting to it. We got...
Get to the good shit, Chelsea, come on.
We got Small Spaces, which is this really crazy middle grade that sounds so horrifying. Like, it's like got like just as you read the back of this book, it gets worse and worse and worse, like in a good way.
It kind of sounds like someone took a list of the biggest creepypastas, put them on a corkboard, and just threw darts at it and was like, okay, creepy scarecrows, don't go into big locations, people trying to kill you, and a cursed book. All right, let's write it.
Yeah, right? Like, so you're just like, holy shit. Now, the 2 books that we wanted the most were Wicked King and Muse of Nightmares. Muse of Nightmares, there was a signing for it. So we knew on our last day, if we like were early for the 3 events before it, we can make it to Muse of Nightmares and still, you know, get a couple good books, but you know, we wouldn't be able to like relax until we got this book.
Because the Muse of Nightmares was not ticketed. It was a first come first serve, and like everyone at this conference wanted that book.
Yeah. So we're like, oh my god, we're gonna have to be there an hour early, and so we've got to be like an hour early for like every single event ahead of time, so that we're at the front lines. And so, but there were also rumors that they're going to be dropping Wicked King and Muse of Nightmares by Twitter password. You got the password and you were at that booth, you could get a book. We were on our Twitter game the first time, but we were like distracted waiting in like a line. And so we passed a girl we had been talking to, Michaela, and she was like, they just dropped the Wicked King book. It's over at Hatchet. You know, go right now. This is the password. Go get it. We were there 4 minutes after it dropped. It was gone.
And I think that made the fact that they were doing the exact same thing with Muse of Nightmares even more stressful.
Yeah.
Because it was like, we did not get Wicked King, so if we don't get Muse of Nightmares, then I'm going to be heartbroken, because I have been wanting this book since the first book came out.
So like, it's super important to make it to that Lanny Taylor signing, and we're gonna get that book no matter what. We're also gonna be like on Twitter like hot. So we're at the front of our line for Boneless Mercies. Like the front, like there's 2 people ahead of us. And we're just like talking to people, we're greeting people, and she's sitting there, she's on her phone. All of a sudden, she looks up, shouts something at me, and runs off. And I'm like, the fuck just happened? And I'm just standing there like looking like really confused after her. She comes racing back and she's like, oh my god, Muse of Nightmares, password's this, where's Hatchet? And I'm like, that direction. And off she bolts, like the demons of hell were on her heels, and like just takes off. And like I go running after her, like, oh my god. We're like, we get there, it's been like less than like 30 seconds since they announced it, and as we're running, you see everybody from like all across the floor running towards this booth. It was like the zombie apocalypse had hit, and like, you know, like suddenly everybody who's infected is just like, go! And so we get there and we get a copy of Muse of Nightmares, and it was the best feeling.
What I shouted at you was the password.
Yeah, I know, I figured that out afterwards, but it just came out as a tumble of words.
Okay, so other things that we got that we are excited for. We ended up getting the sequel to the Trader Beru Cormorant, which I forgot was there, and then when we realized it was there, I was like, well, we have to get this! And he was really nice.
Yeah. We actually got a new Sarah Porter book called Never Contented Things, which we didn't even know was going to be there or was going to exist. That was very exciting. I discovered some really interesting new middle grade books. The Rick Riordan
Presents series.
Yeah. The first one is Arusha and the End of Time, and I only got a chapter sampler, but it sounds really good.
I got a bunch of gothic fiction inspired books. We got The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein by Kristen White.
We also got Ghost Book by V. Schwab.
Yes, City of Ghosts, her middle grade book, which is really interesting. I also got the new edition of Vicious, and I am so excited for Vengeful.
Got Imposters by Scott Westerfeld.
Because the Ugly series was very important to us when we were younger.
Yeah, so getting that was really exciting.
I think the craziest line I waited in was at BookCon.
BookCon was better this year than it's been in since we started going.
And I think the reason was this year with BookCon we just didn't even try. We were there, we had fun, we wandered around, we got in a few lines. Chelsea got the towel she really wanted last year.
See our past video and I swear to God I mentioned this towel.
She does.
Finally got it. All you had to do is like pre-order a book and go up and be like, look, I pre-ordered one of these books.
We got a lot of shirts.
Yeah, like bizarrely enough we did.
Both got the Magnus Bane plushies, which was like the coveted thing.
Yeah, it was. It was weird. They put you in like one of those boxes where and then they blow like sheets of paper at you and you're supposed to pick one. We both got a Magnus Bane plushie. We had fun distracting people online by playing the Heads Up game. Specifically the Game of Thrones edition.
Which is very hard.
Oh my god. But also kind of like not a lot of cards, so be wary of that. Yeah, but we got like a lot of swag at BookCon.
We did.
And it was nice because we had like, there was nothing we needed. We were just like, I don't want to, and we did get books, but like nothing like crazy. And we only went for one day.
We only went for one day because why would we do that to ourselves? Other cool trip stuff we did to throw in. We went to the Air and Space Museum, which we had never been to before, and oh my god, we went into a submarine, and it was so cool. And when I was researching this place, it was just like, yeah, no, we have a Cold War sub, you should come in and tour it, come early because it fills up, and then you can see the rest of the museum. And I thought, okay, that's cool, like, let's do this. And we're walking to get to it, and like on like the wharfs, and then I realized as we're walking to that the rest of the museum is in an old aircraft carrier. Like it's in a gigantic boat. And on the back of the aircraft carrier is a spaceship. Like, what is this?
Like
this
one
is
of the Endeavour space shuttles that take you up. Like there was a bunch of them, Challenger or something, like so cool. So you're just like standing under this thing and you're just like, this thing is humongous. It was so neat. And then we went on a flight simulator.
Oh my god.
Which was, wow. So I was like driving for the first little bit and it wasn't too bad. And I'm like, okay, it's your turn. And I slapped the button to give her control, and then we immediately just go, ah, upside down.
And I start shrieking. We went to the new Spy Museum, Spyscape, and that was really cool. And we both got like what our spy jobs would be, and we were both agent handlers.
So yeah.
Went to the Met, saw the Heavenly Bodies exhibit, which was cool. We did not get to see Chelsea's Blue Whale this year because the exhibit was closed for some kind of event. We did David Bowie Is, which was really good. We ate a bunch of stuff.
Oh my god, we went to Lady M.
We did a bunch of stuff, but we always do a bunch of stuff.
We were super tired this year. We were both just like, after the convention, we were just like, well, I'm passed out.
And I mean, I went into it like sick. I was coming off the end of a really bad cold, so I was like, just leave me here. Like the one night we got back from the last day of Book Expo, and it was like, we'll have like a little bit of downtime, and then we'll go out for dinner. We'll just go to a restaurant on the street, and it'll be fine. I wake up at 9:30. And Chelsea's just like, I'm ordering Indian food.
You think you woke up at 9:30, but I purposely like stopped through the hotel room just so I'm like, you need to eat now. but I'm not gonna like actually poke the sleeping bear. You need to eat.
And I had said to her, because I hadn't been sleeping properly because of being sick, and like when I would lie down I would just start coughing. I'm like, so if I fall asleep, just let me sleep.
So I didn't wake you up to go out, but I'm
Yeah.
like, you need to order food before all the food places close.
And so she ordered Indian, I ordered sushi, we sat there, we ate our food, and then we just crawled back into bed.
I'm like, that's it. That's us. Good night.
New York City on a Friday night.
Oh my god. Okay, and then the final thing we did was we're like, okay, so we're talking to somebody and they're like, oh my god, so Barnes & Noble's has this like exclusive copy of Children of Blood and Bone.
It's beautiful. It's red.
Yeah, which is special. And we're like, oh my god, let's try and get it. So the only day we could get to Barnes & Noble was on the last day before we had to get on the flight. And so we trekked, like we're walking a couple blocks, like not the small ones, the big ones, to get to this Barnes & Noble. And we noticed that there's a line out front of the stupid Barnes & Noble. And we're like, okay, whatever, I don't know what this line is for, but
I thought, oh, that busy street.
yeah, like let's
I mean, we're by 30 Rock, like busy street.
yeah, whatever. Let's go get her book. We go in, and there's this guy in a black suit, arms crossed, standing in front of the escalator to go up to the teen section. And I'm like, dude, can I?
Go up and get a book? No. But it's upstairs. You can't go get a book. But I know what I'm getting. So we can't go upstairs, so we decide we'll go downstairs. And we'll see, because like the kids' books are down there, so there could be a chance that there's displays. So we go downstairs, and I realize we're being followed. Chelsea also wants to use the washroom, and so we're walking towards where the elevator is because we think, oh, that's where the washroom is, and we're being followed. Get back upstairs, and then it's like, these aren't Barnes & Noble employees.
Weirdly dressed up and bitchy today.
These are Secret Service agents, and we just fought with one.
Because of all the stupid Barnes & Nobles in that goddamn city, Bill Clinton and James Patterson had to be promoting their book on the day that we just needed to get into the Barnes & Noble. Didn't get our copy. They couldn't even like send employees up the escalator to get copies of books for you. Like it was just like a no-go. And I'm like, are you serious? And never in my life did I expect to have fought with the Secret Service agent. But I did.
Like other random things, we ended up at this park, we were eating salads by our hotel, and just a special Pokemon Go raid just happened around us. Like there were like 40 people, all ages, genders, like all playing Pokemon Go. It was like kind of cool to see.
There was one guy showing an old woman how to play Pokemon Go. Like it was quite entertaining. So we had a crazy trip, lots of adventures, lots of stories to tell, and we got a lot of books that we were really excited to review for you this year, guys. So that's our review. If you like us, subscribe.
Our review, Chelsea.
Yes, our review of BookCon.
What is your letter grade for BookCon, Chelsea?
It was a B+.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you liked our video, subscribe. We're definitely gonna have more adventures in the future. And let us know what your experience was with BookCon, or have you ever argued with the Secret Service agent? Bye guys.
Bye.